Hello, today we're going to be painting some simple white flowers with some lovely yellow gold on them to make them shine and sparkle. It's beginner friendly, it's in real time, so come and paint with me. I'm going to be using this Escoda brush size 8 with a nice tippy pointy bit. It's the first time I'm trying this, so we'll see how we get on. And I'm using these gem colours, yellow gold, from Gangside Tambi. And from the Winsor Newton range, I'm going to be using the white, the metallic white. And we're going to be painting these flowers. I'm just going to use the tippy pointy bit just to pop down the yellow gold. If you haven't got this brush, any round brush with a tip or a point on the end of it will be fine. Just pop down your little yellow for the center of the flower, and then I'm using the metallic white for this to create the petals, the white petals. I suppose it could be a daisy. By the way, I'm Shanaz. If we haven't met, some people call me Shaz, and this is Bloom Art by SW. And if you've been following my channel, you'll see that this is actually the final part of a series of how to paint on black watercolor paper. I bought some from Cass Art from Brighton, and because there was 12 sheets in the little pack or in the pad, I decided to do 12 ideas on how to paint on black watercolor paper. Maybe you are a beginner and you've never painted before, and for some reason you've ended up, or you've bought some black watercolor paper, or if you're a seasoned artist and you've bought some black watercolor paper or had it for a while and you've not tried it out, perhaps try it out with some white and yellow. Give that a go, because the effects really are completely different to white watercolor paper. I've had to experiment and try things out, but it's all been really good fun. I'm really enjoying it. So all I've been doing here is just creating the petals with the brush. Take your time with it if you're a beginner. There's no need to rush. I've kept all this in real time. Turn your page as well if you feel like you need to turn it. For this one, I definitely did feel like I needed to turn the page. So I'm going to do another one down here. Same thing, pop your yellow gold down. I'm just adding a touch more to the other one. Don't do too much, just little bits of the pollen inside the daisy or the white flower. And then rinse your brush, get your white. Make sure you load the brush really well as well, and then you'll get some good colour onto the paper. And because it's black watercolor paper, you need a decent amount on the brush. And this is a Escoda brush, like I said earlier. It's a size 8. It's made of synthetic and it holds the water and the paints really well. So I'm painting this daisy in a different direction, so you'll not see all the petals properly. That's the idea anyway. So I'm going to add on the petals around like this. Don't worry too much if you're touching the yellow centre of the flower as well. If it does flow in, it's absolutely fine. But I've noticed with this particular black watercolour paper, I think it's because it's not 100% cotton. You can get black paper which is 100% watercolour paper. And I'm going to pop one down here as well, and I'm going to do this one sort of facing the opposite direction of the last one I've done. The composition I've done is probably not exactly right, but it will still look good. So same thing, because this brush has got the tip sort of quite pointy, it's really easy to make smaller lines like this, and it just adds a bit more effect to it, if you like. And because the white is not a normal white, it's metallic white, it stands out quite a bit on the black watercolor paper. And just create your petals like this. And take your time, enjoy the process. There's absolutely no rush in creating your petals. When we've done the first layer, we are just going to let it all dry, but you don't need to wait for long. It's literally literally 5 minutes will be more than enough. So I'm just getting some green, gem green from the Gangsai Tambi range, and we're just going to add a stem to each of these flowers, just like so. And I've used the same brush throughout, by the way. I haven't changed brushes, and I was just trying to work out where to put the stem for this one. Like I say, the composition probably isn't quite right, but it still works. It still seems to work well, and that's the main thing. And I'm just popping the stem down for this one. I'm adding a couple of leaves as well. You don't have to if you don't want to, that's entirely your choice. And I'm just popping down just a couple of small leaves. If you're not comfortable painting loose leaves, I've done just a 3-part series on those. I've broken it down so that you can use your brush to create the leaves with your brush. So I'll leave that in the link for you. I'll leave the link in the description box for you so you can have a look at that if you are interested in seeing that. And I'm just doing these wispy bits just to make it look like it's sort of flowing in the wind. There we go. I'm just going to touch the first petal just to see if it's dry. I have noticed on black watercolour paper, on this particular one, the paint doesn't take as long to dry. And all we're going to do is just put a second layer on in between the petals, just to give it a look of loads of petals, just like so. It just makes it stand out a bit more, makes it look more 3D, and just take your time with it. Like I say, I've kept it all in real time for you, so we can do this together. So when you've done the second layer, give it about 5 minutes or so, and then I've got some white paint from Winsor & Newton. This one is actually gouache, but if you haven't got this, acrylic white paint will be fine if you haven't got this exact paint. And pop a little bit onto a palette, and then we're just going to go in again with a third and final layer, slightly smaller petals. just like this, just to make it really pop and stand out. Again, it's not something you have to do. You don't have to do the final layer if you don't want to. It's just something I thought using a brighter white would make it stand out. Thinking about it afterwards, I probably would have done it the other way around, because the Winsor Newton metallic white probably would have been better to sit on top of the gouache white paint to make it more sparkly. Still, it doesn't matter. This still works. I'm still really pleased with the end results, and I hope you're going to be pleased with the end results as well, and really happy with it as well. And again, just work your way around, and it just makes it really stand out. I'm really pleased with how it's kind of worked out. Like I say, I wasn't sure exactly what the results were going to be, because I've not painted like this before on black watercolour paper until I started the series. And then with the tippy pointy bit, because the point is quite fine, I can go in and do lines like this just to make it stand out a bit more. Just really light touches for those bits, the smaller bits, and then just normal petals. Sometimes when I watch on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube other people, other painters, it looks like they are filming them so quick, and it looks like they are fast at painting, be it watercolour, acrylics or oils or anything. Sometimes it isn't really true. Sometimes this is how slow painting can be. It's not necessarily a quick process. So when you do see people painting on social media and you're thinking, oh my goodness, I've got to paint like this as well, that is really not the case. They have just sped it up. I've done it as well. I've sped some paintings up just to make it look quicker or get it in the time frame that I need to get it in on social media. I don't want you to think you have to work really, really quick. This is the real process of creating a watercolour painting or a picture. And I just wanted to get that across and give you the confidence to paint like this. Anyone can do this. Sometimes it's just a bit of practice. Sometimes it is slowing things down and working out exactly how your brush works. Overall, once you get the hang of it, I promise you it is a lot easier than what you think it might be if you are struggling to paint with watercolour. Although this bit is gouache. So like I did with the leaves, I'm just adding some wispy bits to make it look like it's sort of flowing in the wind, or flowing or blowing, whichever, moving around in the wind, just to give it a bit of movement and a bit of interest to the picture as well. I'm just going to add some little bits of whites to the leaves as well. Just little light touches, that's all you need. And then that's it, that's the picture done. And like I said earlier, I'm really happy with how this has turned out. Okay, the composition might look a little bit strange, but that doesn't matter. There's one more thing we have to add to this picture. Can you guess? Yellow gold splatter. I absolutely love little splatters on pictures. I just think it just finishes the picture off. What do you think? Do you like a little splatter on your painting? Don't do too much. It's so easy to get carried away as well. I have to tell myself, don't do too much. When I say that, it's more telling myself than it is telling you guys. But let me know in the comments if you like using splatter, or do you have a particular technique that's your go-to technique that you like? That concludes how to paint on black watercolour paper. Here's the ones I did earlier. I will leave you the link to the playlist. Some worked out surprisingly, some better than I thought, and some interesting. I didn't have a clue how they were going to work. Thank you so much for watching these, and I hope you enjoyed this particular tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Oh, and don't forget, always sign your pictures as well. I think it's really important to do that. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.